young person, just idolizes one celebrity or another, and as much as adoring celebrities is not necessarily a bad thing, not all idolizations are necessarily a good thing. Now, one of the reasons why this might not be the best thing is with some celebrities just setting standards of beauty that are not only unrealistic, but could prove incredibly dangerous when you try to attain it. It is important that you set your focus on people that you can realistically emulate. Now, in recent years, there's been a significant increase in the number of eating disorders, steroid use, plastic surgery amongst teenagers, in fact. And the reason for this is that the beauty ideal has shifted towards an increasing emphasis on looking a certain type of way, a certain skin tone, amongst others. Well, joining us in Arise 360 as we discuss the impact of the beauty industry and what the true meaning of beauty is, as well as top beauty secrets for the year 2023, is Leslie Okoye, skincare expert and educator, also the founder of Cookie Skin. Thanks for joining me on Arise 360. Okay, so let's begin with beauty. What are your thoughts on, I'm sure you're very active on social media, the new standard of what beauty is in terms of its definition, and how do you think this could affect or even help young people coming up?
When you say the new standard of what beauty is in terms of its definition?
In terms of what people now, based off of your use of social media, what would you say beauty's definition has become is what I'm trying to find out, because for each person it's different,
Exactly. For each person is different. I'm seeing more individualized beauties. We're seeing people who are doing the natural beauty and they love it. They're all Afrocentric. They want to show that they are firm in their identity of being an African woman. Then we're seeing people who are more westernized, Western culture, very sophisticated. And I think perfection is becoming the new ideal of beauty in terms of looking your best, showing that you are confident and that you love yourself the way you are.
But then is perfection realistic? Is it possible for anyone to even achieve that?
I think so. I think you're perfect in how you say you are. So if this is how you like to look, if this is how I like to look, or the next person, and you wake up and you've done your best to look that way, or your daily habits make you look that way, and you maintain that, it's something that is maintainable, then I think that's your own perfection.
I love that. So basically, why do you think there's a little bit of a conflict between people wanting to, for instance, my definition of perfection is this is me. I like my
and
little...
you look lovely.
Thank you. You look lovely as well.
Thank you.
I remember with hair, for instance, I would talk about hair. Before I relaxed my hair, I always had this, thing where it's like, oh, as an African woman, you should definitely just embrace your natural curls. And in my head, it's like, that's beautiful. I think that is a great thing. I admire it, but I like my hair sleek. I really like my edges laid. And I have 4C, so I am not going to go around with it. But even apart from that, there still is that conflict of, oh, as an African woman, you should look this way. As a woman, you should take out the hair on your skin. Others will say, oh no, leave the hair on your skin. There's always this conflict between that balance of what beauty is and what it is not. Why do you think it is?
I think because people really care about what other people think, as you said, social media. So personally, I don't think people are coming and saying you must look this way. I'm not going to apologize for being light-skinned. I was born light-skinned. There's nothing wrong with the way I look. I'm not going to apologize for looking thin or skinny in some people's eyes. This is who I am. I don't walk around with a complex wondering, am I being judged? Am I not being judged? Even if I know I may be being judged. So love yourself how you are. If you honestly are not comfortable looking the way you look, life is about evolving. It's about growth. It's about addition of new experiences and new things. So you are allowed to change if you want to. You just have to be sure that you're happy with whatever you're doing to yourself and that you're doing it for you and not for somebody else.
Okay, so now being a skincare expert, 2023 is the year to glow. That's what I'm telling everybody. Everybody has
Every
to
year
glow.
is the year to
Every
glow.
year is the year to glow. But I feel like 2023, we need to lay more emphasis on the glow. So
Very
if you
true.
were not drinking enough
it's
water,
the year to get it right. You have to get it right.
That's the word.
It's the year to
So
get it
there are
right.
different types of skin. Walk me through that. I know, like,
Yes.
tell me about that.
So they're different in the African heritage, people of color, people with melanin skin.
Yeah.
There are different skin tones, as you can see. There's me, there's you.
Yes.
Like, if you walk around just this building, I'm sure that we would find 5 to 8 different skin tones. And that is strictly because of colonialism. All Africans were inherently black, very, very brown to black, like real brown, not even your color. So when...
So what would you call me? Like a...
caramel.
Caramel. Got
Caramel
it.
to brown.
Caramel to
so
brown.
now most black people, like for me, I have one main shade. If I'm in the winter months, like let's say I travel to England or to anywhere in Europe or Switzerland, and I'm there for 3 months, no matter whether I'm just using shea butter on my body morning, noon, and night from head to toe, I would become lighter than what you see right now. Then in the summer months, I will become darker just because it is warmer. So in Nigeria, we stay indoors a lot. We don't really have a lot of outdoor activities that we do. It's not like we have trains or transits where we're walking out. So we're not doing that much. So most people are hiding behind shades and things, but ideally, most Africans can actually tweak their skin tone, which is why back in the days you saw a lot of toning creams. What they mean is your complexion naturally of anybody who has melanin skin, it can be toned. You can get 2 to 3 shades darker naturally just by the sun. Then you can also get 2 to 3 shades lighter by staying in a super cold climate and not seeing or being in front of the sun.
100%, I agree with that. I notice every time I travel, I get back my skin. Actually, I love it.
Yeah.
It just has this glow that I really, really enjoy. And then the sun hits it and it just goes back to normal.
Exactly. So to maintain that fresh look, which is what a lot of people are trying to maintain, to look like you have porcelain or glass skin. Skin is fresh, it's spotless, it's smooth. There's one thing every African man or woman needs to do is basically you need to make sure that your skin itself is hydrated, that you don't dry it out. Now, there are a lot of things that people are doing, including trends people are trying and doing, and they don't have the knowledge that this actually strips their skin of moisture. It strips the skin of the first layer, and then it causes excessive dryness, which is why so many people are suffering from eczema. They have eczema-prone skin, or just 24/7 they feel like their skin is dry and nothing can sort it out.
Flaky and white and all that.
The first culprit is our bathing habits.
Okay.
We're using the wrong kind of soap, and most especially the wrong kind of sponge. I would say the whole sponge that most people use, the long one, needs to be thrown away.
Okay.
Yes. There's a whole history behind that, but we can't go into that.
But I'm curious though, because some would say you should scrub your body well.
Why?
Because you've been out. Okay, let me tell you now. One, I'm not going to speak as me. I'm going to speak as an average Nigerian.
Okay.
You've had to go out. You've probably had to get in a bunch of Ubers that are dirty and stinky.
Yeah.
You've had dust. You've had smoke. You've had people's stench on you. You need to scrub all of that off, right? Don't you?
No.
Okay, tell me.
One, because your skin is not a carpet. And two, it's not a carpet. It doesn't have holes. There's nothing you need to wash off. You don't need to be that mean to your skin. I call it being mean to your skin. You need to be gentle to your skin. Two, naturally, every soap is designed to trap the dirt and wash it off.
Yeah.
So even if I did gardening work right now, most gardeners are not going to go and get a sponge to scrub their hands. They just wash like 1, 2, 3 times using the same soap and water under there, and everything comes off. So what makes you think that with your full clothes on, that
right there is a myth broken? I think it's a psychological thing. Because even babies, if you think about it, some babies have sponges that are so hard, and people are scrubbing on their skin like, oh, you gotta be clean.
It's as you said, it's a psychological thing that happened all through the era of slavery and colonialism, where the black man was made to feel like he was dirty and smelling, and that if he didn't scrub, because obviously we were made to work in the fields and outdoors, and if we didn't scrub hard enough, that our masters were going to say that we were smelling and that we stink. It's not about how hard you scrub. There are lifestyle things. It's about your diet, what you eat that causes that body odor. So it's lifestyle, diets, and using deodorants. And maybe if you shave, how much hair do you have under there?
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with how much you scrub your skin.
So that's one myth busted.
Excessive scrubbing causes dryness. It also causes eczema, and it causes you to have hyperpigmentation, which is where your arms become uneven or your face is dark or one face is darker than your body. And then again, the soaps that people are using, all those liquid soaps that people use, plus also lightening soaps. And
you mean the ones you could just get off the shelf?
Yes,
those types?
Standard commercial soaps.
Okay.
Yes, that you get off the shelves. Foreign and non-foreign.
Yes, I was going to ask, are the foreign ones included?
Yes, the foreign ones are extremely included, yes.
Okay, why is that?
They're cheap and they don't really do anything. It damages your skin barrier and it causes dryness.
What's the alternative?
The alternative is your standard handmade soaps, or just, should I say, natural soaps, basically fat and lye with no fillers.
Okay.
So a lot of commercial soaps have fillers and they're very drying. So that's why, even if you're going to buy a commercial soap, right, because that's what you can afford, you don't need a sponge. You really don't need a sponge. You're going to be clean. And you would feel clean. You just need your soap and then shower with the soap, and then that's that.
Interesting. So two things. One, get rid of the sponge.
Get rid of that sponge. If you really must have a sponge, it's the round one that has a string in the middle.
And it's really soft.
Yes, and it's really soft. Yes, whatever you can use on a baby that's like 0 to 5, you can use that on yourself. Yes.
And then the second is get rid of all them off-the-shelf soaps.
Ideally.
Which, to be honest, it's such a huge market, if we're being honest. Especially for men. Because you see, men, they have no interest in all of this. They just want to get in and out real quick. So they will just go, they don't even look at the ingredients.
If you must use commercial soaps, throw away your sponge. And I mean bar soap, and I mean liquid soap. The liquid soaps as well are basically just glycerine and water and fillers, which is why I don't make liquid soaps, because
but what about
it's
the black
a
soap?
rip-off.
I think the black soap has become a huge trend for a lot of people.
I think the black soap became a huge trend because people weren't getting the results that they wanted, and they said, especially black women or African women, including abroad. I remember when I lived in the States and I bought this whole chunk of black soap from Amazon, and my sister used to use it. And people weren't getting the results that they wanted, and then they said, "Okay, let's go back to basics. Let's go home. How did our mothers used to do it?" And for some reason, somebody marketed and said our mothers used to use black soap. Now, there's another story about black soap in terms of
don't break my heart, because I think it's cute. It's you're
black soap is too acidic. It is acidic.
But then what works then? Because people use it, it works, it looks good.
When you say it works, you see, as a skincare consultant, I get people coming to my store virtually and physically into the store. They are not satisfied with their skin.
And
the skin is not popping.
That's the word. Now, what is popping? What is satisfaction?
What would make it pop? So, a hydrating soap, which is basically soaps that are made with lots of butters. It's shea butter, maybe olive oil, coconut oils, and regular oils.
Most soaps are made with that. Most natural soaps. Isn't that all that there is?
No, not really.
Yeah?
No, it's not. Soaps that don't stay solid are more acidic than soaps that stay solid. And then commercial soaps that stay solid are usually made with what's it called? Palm kernel derivative.
Yes.
Which is as hard as a soap that you use to wash your clothes, which is super drying to your skin. So you need, like, if you travel to Europe, I'm sure you see all those like round olive oil soaps.
Yes.
Very expensive, you know,
very glam looking.
Yeah, very fancy looking.
Yeah.
Those are soaps that are good for you. You also have them in Nigeria, you have them in America, people making handmade soaps that are basically made with oils the traditional way.
Okay.
So it's expensive because the oils are expensive. In Europe, it is, and America especially, it's expensive to get these oils because America doesn't make coconut oil.
Yeah.
America doesn't have shea butter. America doesn't have cocoa butter. So they import all these things.
Yes, they do.
So it made sense for them to stretch all their raw materials after colonialism and make liquid soap, which basically has
Which is basically
2% oil, just
and it's bad
glycerin
for you.
and water.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I feel like you see, I knew this was going to happen. I knew you were just going to bust everyone's bubble. Now, I'm sure I have people watching the show thinking, oh my goodness, what am I going to bathe with? Well, that's why you have Cookie Skin. I've got to wrap this up.
Yes.
Thank you for joining me.
No problem.
On
Thanks
Arise
so much for
360
having
today. I
me.
have to do this again. I feel like now I need a whole list of what and what not to
What
use.
and what? Well, the
Yes.
key thing, stay hydrated, drink the water, but also make sure you're using hydrating products as well.